Okay, now hello and welcome back everyone. Today I'm Kevin from KevFMC, and what I have here is essentially what you will get if you buy a Nex 7 for, let's see how much. So I bought this thing for, let's see, 25000 divided by 14500 equals to, so $172. Okay, so about $170 you get this. So I got Nex 7 with no box, nothing, with two batteries, one of them fake, one of them original. I think this is the original one, but I'm not very sure. This might also be the original one, but this thing is a bit newer because this thing has the black stripe instead of the white stripe. Then you get this Kingma dual charger. This thing honestly feels like concrete, this battery, because it's so heavy. This thing feels a bit lighter and a bit more normal like. Next you get this USB charger for this Kingma charger, obviously, micro USB. Then you get this mini USB cable to standard USB for something. I'm not sure that you can actually charge from the thing, but I think you can actually charge it from this thing, which is pretty odd because, well, I mean, I'm not sure that you can actually charge it from this thing because like, why the heck would you want to give me this if you can't charge with this thing? I have not tested this thing, so I'm not very sure. And next, let's power the camera on, yeah. So let me go talk you through. Oh yeah, also with this you get a 16GB SanDisk card, which is not a very good thing, but yeah, okay, that's like that, like, count it as a bonus, yeah, essentially. Let's turn this thing on. So as you can see, this thing has a power zoom thingy because this thing is a standard 16 to 50mm f3.5 to 5.6, and you can like zoom it in like this or with the power zoom thingy. Honestly, I do not really like this lens because of the fact that this thing breaks every single time you drop it, and the sound of this lens sounds like it's been repaired. It sounds like my one that I glued together like 1 year ago or something like that, yeah? So that's not a very good thing. Then, what else is wrong with this thing? You might have seen this. Once you turn the camera off, it doesn't immediately go in. It's because of the old firmware, so you have to wait until the camera completely shuts down before the lens actually goes back in. And then, I'm not sure about the firmware updates on this thing. I mean on this camera, but there should be one. I'm not sure if there is one, but I think there should be one because the Nex 5M had the update. Then next, you also have some broken rubber. This thing's torn. This thing is separating pretty badly. This thing's also separating, and you can actually see the double tape under it, which is pretty shit. Everything works. If you find it works, the dials all work. The tri-navy, yeah, this thing, like A7s, you have tri-navy 1, 2, 3. 3 rotary controls. You have this thing. This thing, I'm not sure if it works. This like flicky thingy. This thing works, I think. This play button works. This flash works. This thing works. This thing works. Everything here works. Share button works, and this thing works. Well, I mean, I think this thing works. Let's see. It should work though. Yeah, it actually works, but it's not very good. Yeah. So it's just a standard Nex essentially inside a a bigger body with I would say a worse script than the Nex 6. The Nex 6 did not feel like this too, I remember this. The Nex 6 actually had some wider, like more what you call this thing? Circular grip in the hand, so it actually fits in there properly, yeah. With this thing you actually have like two fingers wobbling around. As for image quality, let's show you my few shots I got. So this, as you can see, is completely red, and the reason to why it's completely red is because I actually need to use flash. Why I need to use flash is because this thing does not perform well at all in low light, like at all. People actually say that this thing's a good alternative to the A6000 because it actually has a microphone jack. And I say no, because even if this thing has a microphone jack, you can actually record external audio. And the A6300's not very expensive. You get 4K. And also the A7, the old A7, the A7 Classic, that's how they call them in Indonesia. The A7 Classics are not that expensive. You can get them for like twice the price of this. Body only, obviously, but body only you can actually get these cheap lenses and convert them yourself. Then you'll get a pretty good deal. This thing's my Konica 38mm f2.8 and works pretty nice. Then with this you actually get a very scratch screen, as you can probably see. Then you have fungi in the viewfinder like all old Nexus have, which I'm not sure why the heck people get this stuff in the viewfinder, because if you actually do have a giant box, then you'll probably not have this issue. Then fungi in the front elements of the lens. When I say front, I mean in front of the aperture disc, yeah, so that's front. And in the back you get this, which is some more fungi and a lot of fungi in here. You might not be able to see it, but it is there. See? Looks disgusting as heck. As for the lens, see, look at bottom corner right there, yeah. And this, look at like in the center. There's one in the center, like about here. If you can actually see it, yeah. It's like right there. And the person said this thing was a completely nice unit with only skin that looks disgusting and no box. So that is how shit people define stuff in Indonesia, yeah. Let's see. What else can I talk about? So yeah, the hot shoe is not a very normal hot shoe. It's like this old Sony Alpha hot shoe, which means that you have to buy an adapter before you can actually use the hot shoe thingy. And that's why I'm saying like you can actually save some by buying something above this thing, like an A7 or an A6300. You have a jack, but you have no socket to mount the mic on, and you're not gonna be holding it beside you like this, because that'd be dumb. Next, what else? The kit zoom is essentially the normal kit zoom that I got. This thing does not come standard with this Nex. That's why it looks way better than the Nex. The Nex looks beat up. This thing looks a bit better, but has funky still. These things just started to come on when, I don't know, I think the Nex 5R, Nex 5T came out. They started rolling out this lens, and this thing came out in 2010, I think, or 2011. So these things were not there essentially with the launch of the kit lens. What next? Dust, obvious, and battery life actually not bad on these things, I think. I think they're pretty much the same as the Nex. The Nex 5N, Nex 5T, R, Nex 6. The thing that's better than the Nex 5N on this thing is the thermals. So I actually managed to like record 30 minutes of video when I was like trying to do nothing essentially, because I was like so tired this afternoon, and I got the time to like click record on this thing and open the back like this and blow it here every few minutes, and it did not die up to the 30-minute mark, which is the recording limit on these cameras. The new Sonys do not have a recording limit, but this thing has, because it's pretty old. And that's a trick by me essentially, because I've also been in a situation where my Nex 5N was pretty hot and was going to die, and that was in the middle of like a shoot, which is not an ideal place to die. So just blow in the back here and you'll get some pretty good thermals. Not good enough that your LCD will not show the small thermometer like thingy, but good enough that it doesn't shut off. Next, let's see. You get this, which is rubbish. Yeah, all these are rubbish. So let's see what I can tell you about this next. Oh shit, let's take the kit zoom off. Come on, come off. Off. Go. There you go, nice. So what I want to show you is this. With this next, it's actually pretty slow. The what we call this thing? Burst mode. So if you wanna shoot sports, oh shit, it's pretty fast. Wait, just now it wasn't this fast. Like it was like blab, 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 blab. I think it's because of the kit lens, yeah, because the kit lens is pretty slow. But if you have a manual lens, then it's pretty fast. Okay, I'm gonna take that back. Then the menus. I'll always have something to roast about this thing. So the menus, like, you cannot just select something over here essentially. Yeah. This is EV comp. In the next, you actually have to select this, the middle thingy, before you can actually turn it like this. See? You can use this thing, or you can use this thing. And that's a good thing, because in next 5Ns, these dials always die. Next 6s also, and this thing also. The 6000 also, these things always die. These top dials are less likely to die, and it's a good thing that you can actually use the top dials to set the settings. Only thing is that ISO is controlled by turning this guy, and so you cannot like click right and do this, which is not ideal because, as I said, these things die and you can't control aperture when you're doing that unless you go to like ISO priority maybe. Yeah. So that's not a good thing. Then flash, this thing's bouncy. See, look at how much it bounces. Shit. See, it's bouncy, and you can actually do this or do this, which is a good thing for people that actually use flash. I do not use flash because I do not like flash. Next, let's see. Recording button is in a good place, although you can't like reach it while you're riding a bike or something, because that would be suicidal. You'll drop your camera. Then the LCD does this, which is essentially the same thing as the Nex 5N. Not the newer Nexus, because I mean the A6400 and the Nex 6. The Nexus had like this hinge on the top, while this thing has this hinge on the bottom. Then, as for how you use it, these things are all Nex controls, not the Sony, modern Sony like playback, and this thing's for something, then this is like menu, and this thing is flash, I think. Let's see this thing's menu, this thing's like function, this thing's function, this thing has like a trash can, and this thing has like a playback button. That's on the new ones. These things do not have that. Then, as for the delts, they're pretty smooth, even after a few years. Like how many years this thing's out? Not sure, like 10 years I think, 10 years old this thing. Then yeah, that should be pretty much it for the Nex 7. This is my first Nex 7 and I don't think I'm gonna get another one soon. If I do want one again, I might get one, but I don't think I'll want one in quite a long time. Cause yeah, let's see what ISO this thing's going at. This thing's going at, I don't know, I think 1000 ISO. So yeah, okay, so I have a Ducky Zero review coming up, and I think I'll use the Nex to actually film the Ducky Zero. So I think that's it. Thank you for watching and goodbye. Peace out.